So the benefits calculator is here to help you find out if you're entitled to claim any benefits. It's free to use, but you do need to make sure you've got information about things like savings, your income, and any other benefits that you or your partner might be in receipt of. If you run out of time, you can save your calculation, and you should expect to spend about 10 minutes doing this. And as it says, make sure you complete all the fields with the asterisks or the little star. So click Start, and the first thing you need to enter in is where you live and the type of housing status that you currently have. So click on the button that is relevant to you and the entitlements that you're asking it to work out. Generally, that's going to be the year that you're doing them. Pop in your postcode. And click Next. You then need to start filling in the details about your household. Do you have a partner who normally lives with you? Click Yes or No. If there are any children in the household, input that number into there. And then answer the remaining questions in terms of anybody else that lives in your household. And click Next. Now input your age and what best describes your employment status. And this is where it's important to remember how many hours a week you work, and if there's a partner in the household, how many hours a week they work. Then work through the questions in terms of whether you receive any disability or sickness benefit, or if you are ill or disabled and not claiming any benefits, and whether you care for someone who is sick or disabled. And this will give you a little box there in terms of what you may or may be able to claim for that period. So it will ask some more questions later on. Then put in the details of your children. So as you can see here, because there's 2 children in this household, you put in the details of the first child, and then you'll be asked the details of the second child. Next is child 2. And if you do pay for any after-school clubs for any of your children, make sure you put the information in there. And then click Next. It will now ask you what benefits you currently receive. And again, you just need to make sure you click the information that's relevant to you. You now need to input any earnings that you have. This is now asking for you to provide the details of the income that you earned the year previous. This is why it's important. Then you make sure you have all those details for yourself. What it's done here is it's taken the information that you've provided and updated that into last year's data. If this isn't correct, you need to make that amendment. Because of the details you've already provided, the system has calculated what it estimates you should be receiving in terms of things like working tax credits, child tax credits, and child benefit. If you're happy that these figures are correct, click on the Yes button. If they need amending, click on the No button, and it should allow you to make those changes underneath. In this instance, we're happy that that figure is correct. It's now asking for any other income that you or your partner may receive. So again, just go through and make sure you tick on the right boxes in terms of that. If you're happy with that, click Next. Now, what the options this will offer potentially will be dependent on the data you put in. So the information you provide will then impact on the questions that it asks you. So in this instance, I've said that we care, we have a carer's responsibility. So then now it's for you to make sure you update that information. So in this instance, it's advising that you would meet the eligibility for carer's allowance. And it will just talk you through what you need to do now in terms of that. And it will then ask you if you want to include that in the calculations that it's about to do. So that's making the assumption that you will make that claim. If you're unsure, you can contact our money advisor. Now you need to put in your housing costs. So you put in your rent and what period you pay this over. If there are any weeks that you don't pay rent, you put that in there, and you also need to update how many bedrooms you've got in your property. Now in this instance, because it's a 4-bedroom property, you might be impacted by bedroom tax. So make sure you click Yes. In this instance, it is a 3-bedroomed house. It will now ask you to provide your council tax details. So again, because of your postcode, it's automatically filled in the local authority that you should be paying. Make sure that that is correct. And then you need to choose your band. So you will need to make sure you've got your council tax bill handy. And again, it's auto-filled some of these information for you in terms of any discounts, so the 25% discount because you're a single adult household, and it's also calculated your council tax for the 12 months. So again, double check on your bill that that is correct, and it will ask you to confirm that. So in this instance, we've now clicked the Finish button, and it's actually telling us that you might be better off under Universal Credit. And it will talk through why that's the case. So it will explain to you there why you might be better off under Universal Credit. And that's based on the information that you've provided as part of your calculation. And if you click on any of these boxes, it will show you other things that you may or may not be entitled to claim. It will also show you things like how your benefits might be affected. by the hours that you work, and therefore whether working more hours might be helpful. How they've worked out the details that's provided. It will show you the information that you've provided, so again it might be worth reviewing that to make sure that that's correct. And it will also give you some information about childcare costs and a link to a page to review that. As with the budgeting tool, you are able to email this to yourself. Simply pop your email address in. And click send, and it will send you that. Or if you prefer, you can download a PDF version of that benefits calculator. And that will show you the results. That will give you an opportunity to review that and make sure that you're happy that everything that you put in is correct, and also have a look at whether or not actually there's any benefits out there that you might be able to claim. And that's it for using the benefits calculator. You can click save and come back to it where you left off, and you can go in as many times as you want to review that.